Okay, so I'm making this video about the CRKT Birler Axe and a little bit about CRKT in general. First, I'll talk about the axe. It's, if you don't know, it's part of their Forged in War series. They list it as a tactical and outdoor axe, although I wouldn't say it's really what normally fits into the category of like tactical axes or tomahawks or anything like that. It was designed by Elmer Rausch of North Carolina, who's right next door to here in Tennessee. Again, the Forged by War series is all designed by veterans, and 10% of the profits to CRKT from the sale of these axes go towards their particular chosen charity. In the case of Elmer Rausch, I believe it is the Green Beret Foundation. But just to give you some of their advertising for it, it's 1055 forged carbon steel. They list it as a compact pack axe with a Tennessee hickory handle. Go Vols! It is listed at a length of 5.165 inches. The edge axe with hammer. They have a misspelling on it, but hammer. As said before, 1055 carbon steel with a 50 to 55 HRC hardness. Silver clear finish with a thickness of 1.113 inches, length of 16 inches, weight of 10.3 ounces. They do come with a lifetime warranty on them as well. Some of the advertising from CRKT is a little, I'm not a big fan of it. You know, again, these are American designed axes, but they are made in Taiwan. As it even says right here, designed by Elmer Rausch in North Carolina, made in Taiwan. So here's the axe itself, the Birler Axe. It's a good size hatchet or tomahawk. I like the design of it. I love the bearded design. For me, I'm actually going to be using this mostly in a carpentry role, although I probably will use it outside a bit. I haven't had a chance to use it yet. I will be modifying it a bit before I actually use it as well, and I'll explain why when I do that. The handle design was really interesting to me. I thought that was really cool looking, and I was a little leery of it at first. It's, you know, pretty straight in profile there, but it actually feels pretty comfortable. Even when you choke up on here, it's a little bit wider, but you still get a good grip on it, so you can do finer work with it. Now, I pointed out that they are made in Taiwan, and I have a very sneaking suspicion that these actually come from the same place that Cold Steel's tomahawks come from. The way the markings are done, the finish, all the way down to the edge, which as you can see is not very sharp. I'm running my finger up and down it. Not sharp at all, really. Is almost exactly the same as a Cold Steel comes. And those are American Tomahawk Company, made in Taiwan, of course. So I have a feeling that they're made actually at the same factory. Now that doesn't really bother me. I love Cold Steel tomahawks. As you see, I got 3 of them behind me here. So that doesn't bother me at all. It is listed as a forged head. Now that is a drop forging or die forging. It's not hammer forged. CRKT in one of their videos says it has a hammer finish on it. As any of you know, here's a hammer finished axe. Right here, it's got a sheath on it right now. That's hammer finished, and if you've seen a hammer finished knife, it doesn't look like this. This is drop or die forged. You can also see the kind of, I don't know if you can, this camera will catch that, but there is like a die mark in there from where it comes between the press. That's similar again on Cold Steel. It's not a bad thing. I don't mind axes like that at all. As you see again, I've got 3 of them. One thing I've heard about these though from people is that the heads will come loose, and if you get one of these and you look, you can actually see how the wedge sticks down right there. You can see it. There's actually space. So the handle doesn't actually fill out the head, and that's probably why they come loose. So one of my modifications, I'm going to leave this handle for a little while, but one of the modifications I will probably do is maybe make an ash handle in the same profile. I like the profile, but I'll make an ash handle for it and make it so it fits better. But I would like to strip the finish off just like I do on my Cold Steels, put, you know, a good, really sharp edge on it as well. But again, it handles nice. It feels good in the hand, I should say. Now, I've heard some people talk about the coating on the handle. This one is stained, but it does not have a coating, which is real nice. It feels like bare wood, which is great, so I don't have to strip that down. But just some of the minor details, you know, I mean, most people cut them either perfectly flush or equal. As you can see, the cut on the top here is not, it's just kind of lopsided. So it's done really quick. Not a big thing, but it is one of those little details that some people do notice. You know, all my tomahawks, as you can see, they're all equal cut. This one, equal as well, all across the top. And those are all, well, they're all factory done, but of course the tomahawks being cold steels, I had to refit those myself. So as you kind of guess, I'm not the biggest fan of CRKT and their advertising. The way they claim certain things in their videos, I do not like. The way they make it sound, you know, again, these are American designed, and if you go on their YouTube page, you'll see Elmer Rausch forging what I believe to be the prototype, or at least another head of this design, and it looks amazing. It looks great. I wouldn't hesitate to buy one of his directly. In fact, they're going to cost 3 to 4 times what this costs, but it would be worth it. The only nice thing about CRKT is, again, you're supporting that foundation that Elmer Rausch has chosen to donate the 10% to. But yeah, I mean, I like the axe. I do. I really like the design. I think it's a very versatile design. And, you know, I said it's not, they list it as a tactical, but I don't believe it to be a tactical. But that being said, all my axes and tomahawks I use for, you know, they're multifunction tools in my opinion. They're not just a tool for chopping up wood. If this were within reach and I needed to use it as a weapon, I have no problem with that. I think it would be great for that. And I'm actually going to do a video on tactical tomahawks in the future and what kind of shit some companies put out for that. But again, so not the biggest fan of CRKT and their advertising. The packaging looks nice compared to a cold steel, but I think it's the same product. And therein lies another issue. The MSRP for these, I believe, is listed at $80 or more US dollars. Whereas, you know, you can find it for about 50 something, mid 50s if you shop around. They're charging almost twice what a cold steel would be. And again, I suspect these come from the same factory in Taiwan. The finish is almost exactly the same. So I'm a little leery of that aspect of it too. You know, would I buy another axe from CRKT? Probably not. The only other one that's kind of interested me is the I believe it's called the Chogan Hawk. And although it's a very cool looking design, which actually was made or designed by a gentleman here in Chattanooga, which is right down the street from me, there's one design feature of it I'm not a big fan of, if it actually exists in that aspect, and I'll bring it up here. So this is the cold steel pipe hawk, of course, but just to give you an idea, the Chogan has a bevel on the inside of the beard here. I don't know, because I haven't actually handled one yet, if that's sharpened or not. If it is sharpened, I won't buy it. If it's just a decorative bevel, I would buy it, because it looks overall like a very functional tomahawk. The reason for that, though, not wanting that a sharp edge there towards your hand, is if you've ever done any training with a tomahawk, one of the methods for grabbing it is to slide your hand up underneath it, and if there's a blade there, there's a chance you can catch, and that's not a good thing. But yeah, so again, CRKT, not a big fan of their advertising. The product, decent, little overpriced for what it is. The design by Elmer Rausch, great, love it. And already, and again, haven't even had a chance to really use this, but again, you know, maybe I'll go through and with a video and explain modifications once I've done them to this, so you can see exactly how you can make a good axe better. And yeah, so next time we'll talk about maybe some cold steel or condor.